Some will say a WNBA player won't draw as many views as an NBA player would.
You sure about that?
Here's Clark. Wow! You bet! From beyond the logo!
Caitlin drew 1.3 million viewers for an exhibition game. She's outranking top NBA stars in jersey sales. Her 2025 regular season games are setting records. I'll get to those juicy numbers in a moment. So yeah, if the haters think this won't be massive, they're in for a rude awakening. Because this is exactly the kind of mainstream culture crossover content that cements Caitlin Clark's superstardom. Just the league's biggest star, she's the only one moving the needle. And now, the owners have all the leverage.
But if it goes back to worst non-Caitlin Clark numbers, and the worst thing would be if the Indiana Fever ends up being one of the lower viewed teams in the WNBA, that would be even worse. Then the WNBA owners can literally come out and just say to the players that if everything they show with growth, and they can just say, like, we had this growth, look at our average numbers. They were like, nope, we are not taking the average numbers. We are discounting Caitlin Clark games.
There's no coming back from this. The players have no leg to stand on. 4 to 6 games without Caitlin is all the sample size owners need to push back on any outrageous demands. And if you don't think they'll use that leverage, just look at what they've already done. These are the same owners who only moved their games against the Fever to NBA arenas. Not for any other team. Just Caitlin.
Every shot you make is one less that I have to do.
Caitlin Clark is about to outdo the WNBA's ratings, blindfolded, because her long-awaited Dude Perfect collab just dropped. And yep, it's going viral fast. And the timing couldn't be more perfect for Caitlin's fans, and more brutal for her haters.
Out of women's basketball, for a horrible team when she arrived, outside of LeBron and Steph, she is the most well-known basketball player currently playing in the United States.
Oh, yes. And I don't think that's close.
At this point, Caitlin Clark is widely considered the most popular athlete in America. And this Dude Perfect video will likely get tens of millions of views easily. Because it's not just brand new fans getting their first real look at Caitlin Clark, it's loyal Caitlin Clark fans watching on repeat. This is going to be disastrous because it will amplify their huge miscalculation that's being exposed in real time.
So this is being reported like wildfire, and it has just broken that Caitlin Clark is out with a left quad strain.
Caitlin Clark, as you know, is out with a quad strain. Normally a star missing a few games wouldn't be a big deal. And to be fair, she's already out there casually dropping threes in practice, so she's clearly on the mend, nothing to really worry about. But the league? Yeah. The WNBA is feeling it hard.
I can personally confirm the pronounced
this year alone. One athlete, one season, $1 billion difference. And there's no mincing words here. It's 100% her. So let's bring this back to Dude Perfect.
Okay, Caitlin, come on. Come on. That'll work.
Caitlin's out. Ratings are dipping, ticket sales are falling off a cliff. Fans are reportedly canceling trips to Indy because Caitlin Clark won't be playing. And all of this comes right after an investigation that, whether intended or not, painted Indiana fans in a negative light for over a week, despite no evidence being found. And now, while casual fans are tuning out, tens of millions are about to watch Caitlin Clark on Dude Perfect, racking up views the WNBA could only dream of. It's just more contrast, more proof that Caitlin isn't. Because while Caitlin is sidelined with an injury, the WNBA is free falling, in attendance, in hype, in momentum. And this video? It's providing a masterclass in contrast. The views are already surging, and it's cementing what everyone knows, but the old guard and many in the media won't admit Caitlin Clark is the WNBA. And maybe they should have been more welcoming of her fans. Reflection from the league, the players, or the media. They won't be looking in the mirror. They'll be looking at you.
There's these people who are fans of indie bands, international soccer, and the WNBA. They have this gatekeeping mentality. We'll tell you who's great.
While Caitlin Clark fans are watching fun viral clips of their favorite player and racking up tens of millions of views, instead of tuning into a WNBA game, you know what's coming next. They're going to get blamed. It'll be the same tired narrative we've heard over and over again. The new fans aren't real basketball fans. They're not WNBA fans.
Which is like average viewership. However, it was the highest peak of any game ever on CBS.
The Fever's game against the Liberty scored a peak of nearly 3.3 million viewers. And that's on the heels of the Sky Fever season opener that drew an average of 2.7 million viewers, making it the most watched WNBA regular season game in 25 years. So now that you see the contrast, just imagine Caitlyn getting 30 million views on Dude Perfect from new fans, while WNBA games are getting ESPN Ocho professional cornhole type numbers. Okay, it's not that bad, but still, by comparison.
And that's the worst part of all this, is the new fans are sucking the life out of the WNBA right now. It's just the truth.
Because what happens while Caitlyn is out could change everything for the WNBA and directly impact how players are paid for years to come. The implications are much bigger than they'd like to admit.
In less than 2 days.
Chicago Sky, Indiana Fever, from $86 48 hours ago to $25. And by the time June 7th rolls around, it might cost you a bag of Skittles and some Lay's potato chips to get in there.
These were tickets that were selling for hundreds of dollars because of Caitlyn. The Sky even moved the game to an NBA arena just to accommodate the demand she created. And now, with her out, prices tanked. It's a massive red flag. Because last year, Caitlyn Clark alone drove the WNBA's attendance boom. And without her, that And Caitlyn has a proven ability to bring them in. I mean, have you seen Fever games? They're family events filled with parents and kids. So when Caitlyn Clark shows up in a Dude Perfect video, that's a gateway to millions of new fans who might have never thought about watching a WNBA game, but are willing to give it a try. And there's a huge difference between this and a Nike billboard or a State Farm commercial. This was earlier this year. The players were riding high. Caitlyn Clark had skyrocketed every growth metric, and they thought the leverage was finally theirs. They were ready to play hardball. Demand better pay, more benefits. The works. It's like they and their fans thought Caitlyn was just the natural extension of what had already been happening.
People know. Look at this lie. This Angel Wilson fan, look at this. This is just a blatant lie. Quote, he isn't lying. Literally look up ratings just the last few years, record ratings. The ratings were putrid. 450,000 people were tuning in for your 3-time MVP, Angel Wilson.
But Caitlyn's injury changed everything. That leverage, or the perception of it, is quickly evaporating.
All the owners have to do is say, what if she gets injured?
Steve, here we go.
So, this was the teaser that dropped on YouTube a few months ago. And it absolutely exploded. That moment of Tyler sinking a long bomb from the stands with Caitlyn Clark watching sent fans into a full-blown frenzy. It racked up 13 million views in just a few days, and everyone has been waiting to see what Caitlyn will do in the full video. And
change in interest in Fever games without Clark. A week ago, I bought 4 tickets on StubHub to take my sports-playing nieces to the Fever Mystics game in Baltimore. The tickets in the same row are now less than half of what I paid.
Ticket prices immediately plunged for Fever games the moment Caitlyn was ruled out, including their rematch against the Sky. It was a clear, undeniable signal. Fans aren't showing up for the logo, the team, or the league. They're showing up for her.
That ticket prices have fallen more than 300%.
Now we know.
Which one went in? 3, 2, 1. Oh.
This video features more than 50 types of three-pointers, which is, as we know, Caitlyn's bread and butter. And in the process, Caitlyn doesn't just show off her skills, she's introducing herself to a massive audience. Just like everything else Caitlyn touches, this collab is massive for the WNBA. That's what it feels like. And this contrast is not just a short-term blip for the WNBA. This contrast, even if just for 2 or 3 weeks, is going to change everything for WNBA players.
The players can't sit down at a collective bargaining table and say, we demand more because you're not giving us enough money. Because if Caitlyn Clark is the only driver of your business, guess what? Not sustainable. Not CBA change-worthy.
They opted out of the CBA so they could negotiate a better deal. And obviously, they wanted to take full advantage of the Caitlyn Clark effect. The ratings surge, the packed arenas, the sponsorship money pouring in. But when they spoke, where she goes, they follow.
Next on the team, Caitlyn Clark.
When Caitlyn Clark played at the Annika Pro-Am, ticket sales didn't just rise, they exploded. We're talking 12 times higher than normal. Every time she shows up somewhere, the WNBA gets free promotion and millions of new eyeballs. The Dude Perfect collab is the same thing, but on steroids. And it's happening at the perfect time. Well, at least if you're a Caitlin Clark fan. Because for the hater, the star, they treat them like friends. They laugh, they have fun. That, along with the crazy trick shots, is what makes the channel special. Their viewers are going to get to know Caitlin on a fun but personal level and build an emotional connection with her that a 30-second ad never could. So when Caitlin is out there doing stuff like this, she's growing the game more than any WNBA promotion ever could. And to get the sheer scale of this, just look at the past NBA collabs. Ratings crisis on their hands.
The Storm vs. Wings gave you 339,000. The most watched WNBA game on NBA TV that did not involve Clark or the Indiana Fever. 339,000. WNBA hasn't seen any growth when it comes to the non-Caitlin Clark games.
Games not featuring Caitlin Clark continue to draw modest, or what some would call disappointing, viewership numbers. Meanwhile, Caitlin's games are doing this.
It is the highest peak of any game. It is the second highest viewership.
Here's why. Dude Perfect isn't just a popular YouTube channel. They're sports YouTube royalty. They have over 18 billion views and more than 60 million subscribers. That's more followers than the NBA's YouTube channel. They're as mainstream as you can get, family-friendly, and absolutely dominant among younger sports fans. Exactly the kind of casual but potentially long-term audience the WNBA is desperate to attract.